the only thing that's like tangent, like ostensibly policy that's like kind of related to policy is the oppose any gun restrictions. And that is psychotic. That's a psychotic thing to fucking advocate for when there's like, you know, 2 mass shootings a fucking day in this country. Let's get started on Little Rhonda. Why am I talking about Little Rhonda? Well, because Little Rhonda is supposedly going to announce that he is running for president this week, actually. So let's take a look. The GOP presidential field expands with Senator Tim Scott's kickoff rally. DeSantis is expected to announce. Here's CBS Mornings.
To election politics, the Republican presidential field is growing with some notable names joining the race. On Wednesday, we expect Florida Governor Ron DeSantis to announce the start of his campaign. South Carolina Senator Tim Scott filed his campaign paperwork on Friday and will appear at a kickoff rally today in North Charleston. Robert Costa is there with more on the primary campaign. Bob, good morning.
Good morning, Nate. The Republican presidential race, it's entering a new phase, an expanding field as those debates loom on the horizon. The latest entry, Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina, who's positioning himself as a consistent conservative who has deep ties to the evangelical Christian community.
Can I get an amen?
Senator Tim Scott has been testing the presidential waters for weeks in the early primary states.
We have to start teaching the necessity of individual responsibility.
Now his campaign.
Yeah, dude, everyone in America is not teaching that. Thank God Tim Scott's here saying this incredibly unique thing. Thank God he's out here defending the teaching of individual responsibility. Like, oh my God. American politics is so fucking boring sometimes. Like, this is just, you know, this is the Pete Buttigieg, okay, of the Republican Party. That's it. Like, nothing new, nothing interesting, nothing unique, not a single fucking unique thought here. Just boring as fuck. They always trot out like candidates like this in the Republican primaries every single fucking time. And ultimately, the guy that wins is, you know, the one that is the most insane and the most unhinged. So that's it. It's never the guy who is going to be saying stuff like this. It's always going to be the guy who's like absolutely fucking psychotic.
Has bought nearly $6 million in ads to air in Iowa and New Hampshire as he returns as a candidate in the coming days.
It's also crazy how much money they have. Like, it is kind of wild that they just have so much money, so much of it, that they could just like spend $6 million for a guy who's going to get 1% of the fucking vote, dude. Fuck, man, this country just hurts my soul.
Has shown little eagerness to take on Donald Trump directly, explaining to CBS News last month his take on the race.
I see that America is starving for positive, optimistic leadership. I want to provide that alternative.
But recent CBS News polling shows likely GOP primary voters are looking for a candidate who digs into the culture wars and makes liberals angry.
Dude, look at that. Look at that. This is the YouGov poll that they asked top answers from likely GOP primary voters. The last time I looked at this list, it hurt me. It hurt my brain. It felt like I had an aneurysm trying to like explain this. I'm not gonna lie, shit hasn't changed, okay? It still hurts me. Seeing this is just so deeply and so undesirably frustrating. When I see this, it's like, when I see this kind of shit, I'm like, yeah, one, I get why we're in the position that we're in, and two, we kind of deserve it. I mean, look at this. 66% opposes any gun restrictions. 61% says Trump won in 2020. 57% want someone who makes liberals angry. Like, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing with your life? What are you doing? Like, where the only thing that's like tangent, like ostensibly policy that's like kind of related to the policies, they oppose any gun restrictions, and that is psychotic. That's a psychotic thing to fucking advocate for when there's, like, you know, 2 mass shootings a fucking day in this country.
Looking for a candidate who digs into the culture wars and makes liberals angry. That same poll shows Scott with just 1% support, while former President Trump leads overwhelmingly. And Florida Governor Ron DeSantis comes in second with 22%. DeSantis is expected to officially join the race this week after recent events outside of Florida where he pushed his conservative agenda and kissed babies in New Hampshire. A DeSantis ally tells CBS News the governor privately told his biggest donors last week that he is the only Republican who can win a general election, his latest shot at Trump's electability.
I think the party has developed a culture of losing. I think that there's not accountability.
But former President Trump and his top advisors remain increasingly confident.
Donald Trump.
Following a CNN town hall earlier this month, which they believe solidified his standing.
Let's just win it again and straighten out our country.
And most Republican House members from Florida have already endorsed Trump over DeSantis.
To me, it's not.
It's like, for the longest time, wanting to own the libs is the only thing they want because they've won economically. Felix Lieberman was so on point with that. Yeah, except they're not owning. Like, that's the other problem. All right, let's continue with this.
Not really about Donald Trump versus Ron DeSantis. It's about what America needs. We need somebody who can step in day one, look at Vladimir Putin, look at Xi Jinping and say, okay, enough. I'm back.
On the endorsement front, Senator John Thune of South Dakota, the Senate's #2 Republican, is throwing his support behind Senator Scott and will be here in North Charleston this morning. Sources tell us that Senator Scott and others are getting into the race now because they want to make sure they have enough time to build support before that first debate in August. Tony.
All right, Bob, that John Thune endorsement is something. Civility, though, I don't know if the base of the Republican Party wants it. That poll was interesting. They're looking for a candidate that makes the other side angry. Notable stuff there. Appreciate it. I know you'll have much more on it.